Goblins.
Hi.
Today's episode might be a little bit different, and it's brought to you by Spooky Scary Skeletons.
Oh!
Ooh.
My.
On today's episode, we wanted to tell a few ghost stories about places we have visited and or lived. So we hope that you like
This spooky, scary skeleton story. So we have 6 different ghost stories that we're going to tell. And get your snacks and get your drinks because it's going to be
a wild one.
Wild, spooky, scary story time. First off starts with her.
Okay, I need your phone.
Also, if you can see, my little girl is dressed up in her little Superman cape. Superwoman cape. She looks very cute. She's here to save the world and solve cuteness aggression.
Can you see her? Can you see all the glory that she is?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Also today we have our Stranger Things little outfits on that we bought. Aren't they so cute? We're huge Stranger Things fans. We also have the Chips Ahoy Stranger Things cookies. So we're going to try those out today too.
Delicious. Okay. So my first location that I chose is Richmond, Virginia. And it starts off with Edgar Allan Poe. So Edgar Allan Poe's name and legacy are deeply entwined with Richmond, Virginia, the city where he spent much of his formative life, first loves, and early literary career. Though most associate him with Baltimore or Boston, Richmond is the city that haunted him, and in turn, many believe his ghost still haunts Richmond. The Phantom Old Stone House. This is the location of the haunting. They say that Poe never lived in the Old Stone House on East Main Street, the current home of the Edgar Allan Poe Museum, but is perhaps the most haunted building in Richmond, and every shadow in its halls whisper his name. In 1922, the house became a shrine to Poe's legacy, filled with artifacts, letters, and even a lock of his hair. But from the moment the museum opened, something felt wrong.
I wonder what that is.
Candles relight themselves, doors open without sound, and the Raven Room is always cold. The curators first noticed when closing the museum one night, a young volunteer had locked the doors, set the alarm, and turned off all of the lights, only to turn back and see the dim glow of a lantern in the enchanted garden courtyard. When he returned, the garden was empty, but the air smelled of pipe tobacco, Poe's preferred vice. Then there were sightings: a thin man in black, with sharp cheekbones and sunken eyes, walking the halls with a cane, reciting verses under his breath. Security footage once called the silhouette of a man in a long coat staring out the attic window. No one was there. Some say Poe's ghost was drawn there by the concentrated force of his own legacy. So many of his personal items, his writings, even his childhood bed frame, all under one roof. Others believe the house itself may have once inspired him. But the most chilling theory, that the museum is building a tether, an anchor, and the more his work is honored within those stone walls, the closer his spirit draws. Final words of Poe's restless spirit. Though he died in Baltimore under mysterious circumstances, Poe's emotional center was Richmond, the place where he loved, lost, wrote, and dreamed. It is no wonder that many believe his soul never fully left. He was a man obsessed with death, the afterlife, and the unknown, and Richmond, with its layers of history, sorrow, and Southern Gothic charm, seems the perfect home for a wandering poet. So if you find yourself walking along the James River at twilight, or passing the Poe Museum when the wind shifts, listen. You may hear footsteps, or verses, or the soft knock of a raven's wings in the night.
Caca! Ooh, that can be chill. So my first one today is from Covington, Georgia. It's the place where Vampire Diaries was filmed, and it's very spooky, scary. Oh my. So my story today is called The Lady of Gaither Plantation. Out on Davis Ford Road, the Gaither Plantation sits quiet beneath the Spanish moss, white columns, rocking chairs, and air that never feels quite still. They say if you walk the grounds at night, you might hear her first before you see her. The faint sound of a piano playing from the empty parlor. Soft and slow, as if someone's trying to remember an old tune. Then from an upstairs window, a figure appears. A young woman in a white dress, looking down as though she's waiting for someone who never came home. Locals call her Cecilia Gather, or Gaither, however you want to pronounce that. She was the plantation owner's daughter, betrothed to a Confederate soldier who died before he could return, heartbroken. She wasted away, refusing food or company. When she died, her father buried her beneath the magnolia tree where she used to wait for her lover's carriage. Now when the moonlight hits just right, people swear they see her walk through the fields, her dress glimmering like smoke headed towards the tree, waiting still. Even paranormal teams who've spent the night there say the camera dies the moment they reach Cecilia's old room. One investigator caught a little faint whisper on audio, "I'm still waiting." I'm scared. Cecilia, where are you? She works with us. No, I'm just kidding.
Stop. Moving on. The next location of my story is going to be taking place in the Outer Banks of North Carolina. The title of the story is called The Weeping Woman of Roanoke Island. At twilight on Roanoke Island, located in Manteo, North Carolina, where shadows fall long across the woods, you might hear her sobbing, soft and mournful, carried on the breeze like a broken lullaby. They call her Eleanor Dare, the mother of Virginia Dare, the first English-born child in the New World. When the colony vanished in 1587, some say Eleanora was left behind, or worse, cursed to wander the land searching for her daughter. Locals have seen her, a pale woman in colonial dress, gliding silently through the trees, her face streaked with tears. When she approaches, the air grows cold and the world seems to pause. It is said that she appears most often to mothers who've lost children, offering comfort, perhaps, or seeking some final understanding, but never follow her. Those who have don't come back. What? Closing whispers. The Outer Banks are more than sun and surf. Beneath the dunes and driftwood lies a history soaked in blood, sorrow, and secrets. These barrier islands have watched centuries pass. Storms, shipwrecks, pirates, and disappearances, and some things simply refuse to be forgotten. So if you find yourself walking alone at dusk and the wind begins to speak your name, don't look back. You never know who might be following.
Scary. I like that one. The next one I'm doing takes place in Williamsburg, Virginia. The Tormented Children of Hayden Randolph House and White House. At the intersection of history and tragedy sits the Peyton Rudolph, not Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer, the Peyton Randolph House. Built in the early 1700s, it's seen its share of grief. The Peachy family, who once lived there, lost children to illness and accident. One child's fall, another's sudden fever. Deaths that left sorrow in every creaking rafter. One story from an employee, she was descending the stairs late afternoon when she felt a grip on her wrist, a whisper in her ear pleading, "Don't leave me." She turned, no one there. Yet footprints appear on dusty stairs, small footprints as if children who once played between those walls linger still. Some visitors report hearing the scuff of tiny shoes, giggles in a space empty of joy. Giggle, giggle. Whoa. White House nearby has its own echoes. George White, mentor to Thomas Jefferson, lived there. In those stately rooms, guests say they feel a presence in quiet corners. Maybe a host lingering long after the guests are gone. A shadow in its doorway, a voice carried on a sigh of wind through aging glass. Boo!
I think she's getting a little scared.
I am.
She's laughing about everything to make it less unserious.
I'm not scared. Not yet.
Not yet.
The only thing I got scared is when I walked in here and saw
Whoa, that is mean. No.
Nah, she scared me. Wee! She's cute.
Alright. For my final location, it's going to be the beautiful Orlando, Florida. Beneath the palms and the pixie dust, the past lingers like a shadow in the Florida heat. Because that shit lingers forever.
It definitely does linger. It's too damn hot.
The name of the story is called The Possessed Piano.
I thought you were about to say something else.
Anyway, this is going to be located at the Orange County Regional History Center. Once a courthouse, the Orange County Regional History Center in downtown Orlando holds more than just artifacts. It holds ghosts. One of the center's strangest haunted objects, my bad, I'm so sorry, is a Victorian upright piano donated by a family who swore it played by itself. Whoa, that's scary. At first, staff thought it was superstition. Then it began to play my heart.
Bum bum bum.
So, not music, just a single note, repeated slowly. Visitors sometimes hear it echo throughout the halls especially near closing time. One night, a custodian found the piano open, keys pressed down by invisible hands, strings vibrating. No one else was in the building. The piano once belonged to a woman named Evelyn Ashcroft, a pianist who died during childbirth. Her grieving husband left the instrument untouched for 40 years until it was donated. Some believe Evelyn's soul is trapped inside. Unfinished melodies echoing through eternity. When the note plays, don't answer. Closing whispers. Orlando may shine by day, but by night, its shadows deepen. And its historical hotels, forgotten graveyards, and haunted highways, the past never truly dies. It lingers. And the crash of a piano key, the flicker of a hotel light, the chill beside a child's grave. So next time you're in Orlando, look past the fireworks. You might see something watching from the dark.
Scary.
Scary.
Okay, you put it in.
But I also wanted to add on a little bit to that, was also in what was once the courthouse. Ted Bundy was tried for murder, and he was a serial killer.
Which courthouse?
The Orange County.
Oh shoot,
Mhm.
that's wild.
Mhm.
I did not know that. Okay, so my last one is gonna be Orlando, Florida as well, and it's gonna be called The Lady in White of Lake Lucerne. Lake Lucerne sits quietly, the water darkening as night falls, oaks leaning overhead with moss like whispers. Near one of its older oak trees on the southern shore, there's a legend locals pass on. The Lady in White. She appears almost theatrically. A woman in a flowing dress from another era, shimmering, like you. In moonlight, standing by the tree, or walking along the edges of water. Sometimes people driving past see her silhouette. Others who walk the lake after dark even report a cold breeze, a feeling of longing, hearing a soft sob carried by the night air. It's sad.
It is.
Oh,
Pop it all.
pop it on. Some say she was a bride left waiting for her groom who never came.
Not left you at the altar.
That is sad.
That's so sad.
Go ahead, girl. Valid.
Valid.
Maybe lost at sea, or died in travel, or simply never returned. Others believe she was one of the grand homeowners whose house once stood near the lake, now gone and replaced. But no matter the origin, her sadness seems eternal, tied to that oak and that water. Bloop. Boo! And that's going to be the end of this spooky ghost story adventure.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Don't get too scared. We'll be waiting. Happy Halloween. Look how cute she look with her little